By age 25, most young adults have already developed their core beliefs about money. And for many, those beliefs sound like this: work hard, save what you can, and if there's anything left over, maybe invest later. But here's the thing, that mindset, it's exactly why so many smart, capable people spend their 30s and 40s feeling like they're constantly playing catch up financially. Because the wealthy take a completely different approach. They're not just teaching their kids how to save a few dollars or balance checkbook. They're teaching them how to think about money, how to grow it, protect it, and use it as a tool for freedom and opportunity. And the lessons they pass down before age 25 can mean the difference between a child who struggles to get ahead and one who's building wealth by the time they hit their 30s. So what are those lessons? Let's break it down. Hi, I'm Nathan Seeley, founder of Brass Ring Wealth Management. I help professionals, families, and business owners reduce taxes, grow their wealth, and create financial plans that give them and their kids clarity and confidence for the future. If you find this helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to see how these strategies could apply to your own family, book a strategy call using the link in the description below. Now, let's dive into 5 key lessons the wealthy teach their kids before age 25. Lesson 1. Money is a tool, not the goal. This is the starting point for most every financial successful family I've worked with. They teach their kids early, money is a tool, not the goal itself. Because here's what happens when that distinction isn't made. A lot of young adults grow up thinking money is either something to chase or something to fear. Some associate money with stress, always feeling like there's never enough. Others attach an identity to it, believing that the more they have, the more they're worth. Neither mindset leads to long-term success. Wealthy parents flip the script. They teach their kids money gives you options. It's not a scoreboard. Use money to buy time, freedom, and opportunity, not just things. Your income will likely grow. What matters is learning how to control it, how to direct it, and multiply it. And the model is in real life. Instead of saying, we can't afford that, they say, that's not a priority right now. Instead of celebrating flashy purchases, they celebrate smart investments. They're showing their kids that money should support their values, not control their decisions. It's a shift from scarcity thinking to strategic thinking. Because once a young person understands that money is simply a tool to build the life they want, they start making very different choices with how they save, spend, and what kind of work they pursue. That's the first and most important foundation, and it sets the stage for everything else. Lesson 2. Understand how money flows. Once the mindset is in place that money is a tool and not the goal, the next lesson wealthy families teach is all about how money actually flows. Because let's be honest, most young adults leave school knowing how to pass a history test, but now how paychecks get cashed. They might know the price of a car, but now how interest on a loan can double the real cost. Wealthy families change that by making sure their kids understand where money comes from, earned income, business income, passive income, and where money goes, expenses, taxes, debt, savings, investments, and how to control the flow, being controlled by it. They explain the basic but critical concepts like what compound interest actually means, how taxes affect take-home pay, why saving early matters more than saving more later, and how to build systems where income can continue, even if they're not actually working. Let me give you a real example. I recently worked with a couple, both physicians, who had 2 kids in college. They didn't just give their kids a monthly allowance. Instead, they had their kids manage a simple budget tied to part-time work and saving goals. Their daughter, Emily, started tracking her income from her tutoring job, put a portion aside for taxes, invested a little into a Roth IRA, and used a budget to help plan her spending. By the time she graduated, she understood how cash flow worked better than most 30-year-olds. And more importantly, she wasn't afraid of money. She knew how to use it, and that's the difference. The wealthy don't just tell their kids to save or be smart. They give them a framework to see how money flows so they can learn and direct it with purpose. Lesson 3. Start investing early, even if it's small. Once kids understand how money flows, the next lesson wealthy families focus on is this: start investing early, even if it's small. It's not just about opening a small account and picking stocks. It's about learning the habits, mindset, and discipline of long-term investing. Wealthy parents teach their kids early on that saving money is important, but investing money is what actually builds wealth. They explain how compounding works over decades, not just months, and even how small amounts invested early can make a huge difference later. Here's a simple example they often walk through. If a 20-year-old invests just $200 a month into a Roth IRA, earning 8%, they'll have over $550,000 by age 60. If they wait until 30 to start, they'll have to invest twice as much, $400 a month, to end up the same amount. The lesson: starting early buys you freedom, and wealthy parents don't just talk about this, they set their kids up to act. They might help them open the Roth IRA once they have earned income, encourage them to contribute to a 401k once they land their first job, walk through their own portfolio in simple terms so the next generation learns by example. And they always reinforce investing isn't about timing the market or getting rich quick. It's about consistency. Even 50 or 100 a month can create a habit that turns into real wealth over time. That early exposure creates confidence, and that confidence turns into action when it matters. Lesson 4. Avoid the lifestyle trap. This next lesson is where the wealthy wealthy separate themselves from high income but high stress cows. Don't let your lifestyle grow faster than your income, because here's the reality. A lot of young adults get that first real job, and the moment the direct deposit hits, so does the spending. The nicer car, the high-rise apartment, the upgraded wardrobe, the daily Uber Eats and weekend getaways. And it all feels justified. I'm finally making good money. I deserve this. But here's what wealthy families teach their kid instead. Just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should spend it. They help their kids understand that the early years of a career are when you can build serious financial momentum if you're intentional. Let's say a 25-year-old gets a $90,000 salary. If they live on $60,000, they can save and invest the rest and potentially set themselves up for financial independence by their early 40s. But if they spend the full $90,000 or worse more, they're always starting from zero. Wealthy parents encourage their kids to avoid that lifestyle creep, live slightly below their means even when income grows. Automate savings so money moves into investments before it hits their checking account. Celebrate discipline over indulgence. They might even say, live like a college student just a few more years and you might never have to again. The goal isn't to deprive, it's to build a foundation first so lifestyle upgrades are sustainable, not stressful. Lesson 5, think bigger than yourself. The final lesson wealthy families often pass down before age 25 is this: money isn't about what you get, it's about what you build. And that shift in thinking from consumption to contribution is what sets the foundation for generational wealth. Wealthy parents don't just teach their kids how to make money, they teach them how to use money to create impact, whether that's through businesses, giving, family, or legacy. Here's how that shows up. They involve their kids in charitable giving decisions, even at a small level. They share the why behind the financial plan, not just the number. They talk about what kind of mark they want to leave on the world and how their money can help support those values. One client I work with, a successful business owner, told me he brings his teenage sons into the one family meeting every year, not to talk about stock picks, but to discuss questions like, what kind of people do we want to be? How can we help others with what we've been given? What should this money mean in our lives? That kind of conversation sticks, because when young people learn that wealth isn't about lifestyle, but financial freedom, their choices and legacy, they start thinking very differently about how they earn, spend, and save. And that mindset, it creates leaders, not just high earners. Here's the bottom line. You don't need to be ultra wealthy to teach your kids how to think like the wealthy. These 5 lessons: seeing money as a tool, understanding how it flows, starting to invest early, avoiding lifestyle creep, and thinking beyond themselves. They don't require millions, they just require intention. And the earlier you start having these conversations, the more time your kids will have to put these lessons into action. If you want to build a plan that not only grows your wealth, but helps you pass these values on to the next generation, let's talk. Click a link in the description to schedule a strategy call. We'll help you align your investments, your tax strategy, and your legacy so your wealth works for you and for them. And if you found this video helpful, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's raising the next generation of financially confident adults, because long-term freedom starts with the right mindset passed down early. Thanks for joining.